I'm in Salad, and I saw The Avengers. It's directed by Joss Whedon, and it stars Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, Samuel L. Jackson, Mark Ruffalo's here, wow, Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Evans. I'm currently doing this movie review in an alley in New York. There's a bunch of aliens that are here, and all these super people are flying around. Oh, there comes one now. Fun fact, I was looking at how much people were being paid during this movie. Robert Downey Jr. made $50 million dues. Alright. Everyone else, except for Scarlett Johansson and Samuel L. Jackson, made 2 to 3 million. Jackson and Johansson made 4 to 6 million. This movie starts off with, you got Nick Fury and a bunch of his dudes looking at the Tesseract, trying to be like, yo, what does this thing do? It's unstable. It's a piece of rock that we don't quite understand, but it has a lot of potential for energy. Might as well use it for things, for whatever purposes we might want. But how are we gonna harness it? Because it's in unstable condition right now. But this unstable conditions leads to a portal being opened, and Loki is here. Aw man, Loki. I love Loki. He's such a very jealous boy, and he just wants to be king of someone. Very insecure. Loki has this spear thing that can control people's minds through their hearts, and he controls some of the men, including Hawkeye. Hawkeye has been tooketh from us. Loki's working for a bunch of people. I didn't know who these alien people were the first few times that I watched the Avengers, but looking back on, after all these MCU movies have been made, hey, that's a pretty cool Easter egg, I say. During this process, the Tesseract has been yoinked, and now Loki has the Tesseract. What is he going to use with it? No one knows. That's why Nick Fury's trying to get a team of soldiers to protect the Earth called the Avengers Initiative. Natasha goes to what I assume is India to recruit Bruce Banner, who's doctoring it up over there, trying to heal people who are sick. What a good guy. You also get to see the recruitment of Steve Rogers. Iron Man's pretty easy to convince. It takes a little bit of peppering it up in his ear to get him to join the Avengers. After the group meets each other, all these different programs are looking for Loki. With their advanced zoom and enhance feature, very exclusive to S.H.I.E.L.D., they find Loki and capture him. He's super easy to capture. I'm just thinking, why is he being so cooperative? I would fight if I really felt I was out of control. Loki must feel he's in control, so therefore he must be doing something, and I'd be super cautious and wary of him. Not to say that the group isn't doing that, but I feel like they let their guards down a little bit too much around Loki. Cut to a scene where you got very famous Tony Stark, Captain America, and Loki in a plane. And this is a very thunderous, stormy storm that they're in this plane that's going through the air. And guess who's also in the air? Thor lands on the plane. This is a good introduction to Thor. Thor is pretty great. He yoinks Loki out of the airplane, and I think Thor could have talked to them a little bit more before just stealing Loki. I know he's saying, oh, there's no way you can know exactly how to deal with Loki, but at least tell him that your plan. Just be like, hey, I'm Loki's brother, and I'm here to talk to him, get him out of doing these things that he's doing. But since Thor just leaves with Loki, Iron Man and Captain America leaves and goes to fight Thor. Iron Man catches him first, and there's this huge unnecessary battle between them. Thor was getting through to his brother too, so the fact that Iron Man just jumps in and starts punching away is very presumptuous of him. Shame on you, Iron Man. Captain America then joins the fight a little bit later, and it's all shown that they're all equally matched. They should be working together, not fighting each other. Also, where did Loki go? There he is. He just surrendered himself? Why did he surrender himself? There has to be some sort of plan. You're just taking him so easily? I'd question that. So they take him to this invisible aircraft carrier. And seeing this technology for the first time in theaters, I was like, wow, that's cool. I was also 11 when I saw this, so it's even more wow cool than now. Loki says a lot of things that he says confidently, and I'm thinking, hold on, big brain, how could he fuck with us? And here's how he does. He knows that the team will argue, and when the team argues, Bruce Banner will get angry and turn into a Hulk and smash everything. And that's his ticket way out. And guess who notices this plan before he even starts? Natasha. And so when Natasha goes to the group to tell all them people, hey, Loki's gonna fuck with y'all, it's already started. And Natasha just has to stand there and watch. But she also involves herself too, which isn't very big of a help. I also love how the room where Loki's staying, the only failsafe for the Hulk, since the room was designed for the Hulk, is to just drop it from a 30,000 feet elevation and just pray that he dies if anything happens. Thor gets tricked into being in that room by Loki, and then Thor has to drop 30,000 feet, which he eventually flies out of. But it's still a taunting task that he has to deal with. Thor lives, who knew? Also during this escape, one of the agents dies, and now the team can properly become the Avengers, because they're avenging the death of someone. Get it? Loki also leaves to build this huge portal to let all these alien guys into Earth, and he builds it right on top of Stark Towers. Loki unleashes this big ol' army with these big ol' centipedes, and I love the CGI. The CGI looks great. It still holds up to this day. Not to mention the CGI just gets better and better with each movie. Oh man, I love seeing the fight scene progress. You first start with the heroes being able to fight off these manageable amount of aliens coming through the portal, including the Hulk's able to take down one of the centipede guys with a punch. But then you see much more people coming through the portal, including like 3 or 4 more of the centipede guys, and this is a losing cause. While this is happening, Nick Fury's board of directors wants to nuke Manhattan in order to stop this alien invasion. Nick Fury says no, but there's already a pilot on its way to nuke Manhattan as we speak. Iron Man is on the case, and he flies towards the nuke, and he knows where to point it at. He drags it all the way up into the portal, and he blows this entire army up. The way he was able to keep that nuclear explosion from hitting Earth was that one of the mind-controlled guys got unmind-controlled, and he was able to stop the portal. I just find it noteworthy that Tony saw in his first exposure to space the deepest part, and also an invading alien force fleet that has been nuked in front of him. And he takes it all in, and he thinks he's dead. So he just kind of gives up and goes into a free fall, which is, wow, it's incredibly brave. And it causes Steve Rogers to reevaluate his characterization of Tony Stark. The end of the movie is a bunch of news stories talking about how everyone loves the Avengers, but there's also people questioning the Avengers. Where are they at? Why are we not keeping an eye on them? They're dangerous, potentially, this and that. And I just like seeing the world's perspective on the Avengers, because this is more realistic than thinking, oh, everyone's just going to love the Avengers. And everyone goes in different, separate paths, and that's the end of the movie. I really like this movie. The CGI holds up very well. I love the alien designs, including the weapons, the vehicles that they ride, the huge centipede monster thing. It reminds me like one of those hunters from Halo. This is actually very similar to Halo 3, Halo 4 graphics. The dialogue is nice and funny, very appropriate for a Marvel film. And I remember the first time that I saw this, I was very impressed. I was not very familiar with the other Marvel movies in that franchise at that time, but it really works as a standalone film. It also adds a lot of good exposition if you've seen the other films. The characters are excellent and they're very well rounded, and I can agree with all of them and none of them at the same time. It's pretty great. For that, I must give this movie an 8 out of 10. If you like this content, check out patreon.com/ASEPresents. You can see $3 a month for daily vlogs. My commissions are also open, so if you want a commission by me, check out my Twitter or Instagram at instagram/twitter.com/itsmintsalad. Until next time, on Mint Salad Saw.